What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And on today's main episode of the podcast, we talked about the players that had the potential of getting that two-way contract from the Chicago Bulls. Well, we got an answer to that. Kostas Antetokounmpo was signed to a two-way deal officially by the Chicago Bulls. Now, what does that mean? That means that either Malcolm Hill or Justin Lewis, who both had two-way deals, one of those guys are going to lose that two-way deal. Is it going to be Justin Lewis? Will they also keep Malcolm Hill, or will it be Malcolm Hill who could lose that two-way deal? I went over the numbers earlier. Considering Malcolm Hill is ready to go and perform now, he could very well keep that two-way deal, and maybe they've talked to and worked out something with Justin Lewis and his agent to let them know that they're still going to take care of Justin Lewis and re-sign him to a deal once he's able to compete, considering he tore his ACL. Or the Bulls very well could still see that future in Justin Lewis. Don't want to risk him possibly going to another team. Keep him on that two-way contract. I think he signed a 2-year two-way contract. And then let go of Malcolm Hill, who, as I said in the earlier episode, is not, I wouldn't necessarily say redundant. I think that's too strong of a word. But considering you have Derrick Jones Jr., considering you have Dalen Terry, who is another young player able to take some of those minutes, and Javonte Green, who is poised to be a big part of the Chicago Bulls rotation, maybe keeping the 6'7" Malcolm Hill, even with this three-point shooting, the Bulls may look at that and say, hey, we're going to actually develop a player at a position of need for the Chicago Bulls. So it's going to be interesting. I tried to wait to drop this video. I was hoping that news was going to come out sooner rather than later on which player they're actually going to pull back their two-way contract to sign Kostas Antetokounmpo to this deal. But remains to be seen. Maybe by tomorrow's mailbag episode, we'll talk about that. But we do have another update as well. So the Bulls have also signed, or they're working on signing forward Okoro White, who played it out in Greece. Nothing major there. Probably is going to be to the G League team. As I've said before, the Bulls G League team is going to be very, very interesting and fun to watch when you look at the number of players that they're going to have down there. They've been making some signings down there. So Windy City Bulls are going to be interesting to watch for us. I don't know if I'm going to cover them much here. I may, check in every once in a while, give some stats to some players that we're looking at down there. But other than that, looks like Javonte Green as well, while we're giving updates, suffered a hip pointer. He sat out of practice today. Typically, those aren't any type of longevity issues there, injuries there. So I think he's probably going to still be ready to go by the start of the season. But just as an update, since we're doing this emergency episode for the Kostas Antetokounmpo signing, let me know what you guys think of everything down below. Do you think it's going to be Malcolm Hill or Justin Lewis that ends up losing their two-way contract that they signed earlier in the offseason to make way for Kostas Antetokounmpo? Otherwise, make sure you're following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.